My family threw me out of my sister's wedding. 10 minutes later, the bride called my name. Have you ever been humiliated by your own family in front of hundreds of people? Because I have. And the worst part wasn't being thrown out of my sister's wedding. The worst part was realizing they had been planning it for weeks. What they didn't expect was that 10 minutes later, the bride herself would stop the entire wedding and ask for me by name. That single moment changed everything. My name is Olivia, and this story began 3 weeks before my younger sister's wedding. Growing up, my sister Lily and I were completely different. Lily was outgoing, confident, popular. The type of person who could walk into a room and instantly become the center of attention. I was quieter, more focused on school and work. While Lily enjoyed parties, I preferred books. While she chased excitement, I chased stability. Despite our differences, we were close as children. At least we used to be. Things changed after college. Lily became engaged to a successful businessman named Ethan. Their relationship moved quickly. Within a year, they announced their wedding. Everyone was thrilled, especially my parents. For months, the wedding became the only thing anyone talked about. Every family dinner, every phone call, every holiday gathering, everything revolved around Lily. At first, I didn't mind. Weddings are important. People get excited. That's normal. But slowly, strange things started happening. I was excluded from planning meetings, left out of family group chats, ignored during wedding discussions. Whenever I offered help, my mother would politely decline. We've got it covered. The more I tried to participate, the more distant everyone became. Something felt off, but I couldn't figure out what. Then one afternoon, I accidentally overheard a conversation that explained everything. I had stopped by my parents' house unexpectedly. As I approached the kitchen, I heard my mother speaking. "She'll ruin the atmosphere." I froze. A second later, my father replied, "Maybe we shouldn't invite her at all." My stomach tightened. They were talking about me. I listened from around the corner. My mother sighed. "People always compare the girls. Olivia has done so much with her life." My father nodded. "And Lily hates it." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Apparently my success was a problem. While Lily had spent years bouncing between jobs, I had built a successful career as a lawyer. I owned my own home. I had worked hard for everything I achieved. Yet somehow that made me the villain. The conversation continued. They worried guests would spend too much time talking to me, too much time asking about my career, too much time praising my accomplishments. In other words, they were afraid attention might drift away from Lily. I left before they saw me. The drive home was painful, not because strangers felt jealous, because my own parents did. I considered confronting them. Instead, I stayed quiet. I hoped I was overreacting. I hoped things would improve. They didn't. A week before the wedding, I received my final clue. My cousin accidentally sent me a screenshot from the family wedding group chat. A group chat I wasn't included in. The screenshot contained dozens of messages. Most were harmless, until I saw one message from my mother. "If Olivia comes, let's keep her seated in the back." Another message from Lily followed. "I honestly wish she wasn't coming." Reading those words felt like a punch to the chest. I stared at my phone for nearly an hour. Part of me wanted to skip the wedding entirely, but another part refused. Lily was still my sister. And despite everything, I wanted to support her. Wedding day finally arrived. I spent extra time getting ready. Not because I wanted attention, because I wanted to look nice for my sister's special day. I wore a simple navy blue dress. Nothing flashy, nothing attention-grabbing, just elegant and appropriate. When I arrived at the venue, I immediately sensed tension. Several relatives avoided eye contact. My parents barely acknowledged me. Even Lily looked irritated when she saw me. Still, I tried to stay positive. I smiled, congratulated people, found my seat. Then everything exploded. About 20 minutes before the ceremony, my mother approached me. Her face was cold. "Olivia, we need to talk." I followed her into a side hallway. My father was already waiting. Neither of them looked happy. Then my father said something I'll never forget. "We think it's best if you leave." At first, I thought it was a joke. Then I realized they were serious. What? My mother crossed her arms. Lily doesn't want distractions today. I stared at them. You want me to leave my own sister's wedding? My father nodded. It'll make things easier. Easier. That word again. The same excuse people use when they know they're wrong. I felt tears forming. Not because they were asking me to leave. Because they genuinely believed I deserved it. After everything I'd done for this family, they still treated me like an outsider. I looked at my parents one last time. Neither seemed ashamed. Neither seemed sorry. So I left. As I walked through the venue lobby, guests stared. Some looked confused. Others looked uncomfortable. Nobody stopped me. Nobody said anything. I got into my car and drove away. The entire ride home felt surreal. I couldn't stop replaying the conversation. The humiliation. The rejection. The realization that my own family didn't want me there. 10 minutes after arriving home, my phone rang. It was my cousin. I almost ignored it. Instead, I answered. His voice sounded panicked. Olivia, where are you? Home. There was a pause. Then he said something shocking. The wedding isn't starting. I frowned. What do you mean? The bride refuses to walk down the aisle. I sat upright. What? She's asking for you. For a moment, I thought I'd misheard. Me? Yes. She keeps asking where you are. I couldn't understand it. Lily was the one who wanted me gone. Wasn't she? A few seconds later, another call came through. This time it was Ethan, the groom. I answered immediately. Olivia, please come back. What happened? His voice softened. Lily just found out what your parents did. My heart stopped. Apparently, while preparing for the ceremony, Lily noticed I was missing. When she asked where I was, my mother proudly explained that they had asked me to leave. They expected gratitude. Instead, Lily exploded. She started crying. Then she refused to continue. According to Ethan, she kept repeating the same sentence. Bring my sister back. Over and over again. The wedding had completely stopped. Guests were waiting. The officiant was waiting. Everyone was waiting. Because Lily refused to move until I returned. For the first time all day, I felt hope. Maybe my sister hadn't known. Maybe she'd never wanted this. Maybe our parents had been manipulating both of us. I drove back immediately. When I arrived, the atmosphere felt completely different. Guests filled the hall. Everyone seemed tense. The moment Lily saw me, she ran toward me, still wearing her wedding dress, still crying. Then she hugged me, tightly. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Finally, she whispered, I'm so sorry. Tears filled my eyes. She explained everything. Our parents had spent months telling her that I looked down on her, that I resented her happiness, that I thought I was better than everyone else. They had created conflict where none existed. Slowly, they turned us against each other. And Lily believed them. Until that moment, until she learned they had thrown me out. That's when everything finally clicked. The wedding resumed shortly afterward. But something had changed. For the first time in years, my sister and I stood together. Not as rivals. Not as competitors. As family. During the reception, Lily surprised everyone. She took the microphone. The room fell silent. Then she pointed directly at me. I need to thank someone. Hundreds of guests turned, looking in my direction. Lily, I whispered. But she continued. My sister spent years supporting me even when I didn't deserve it. The room became completely quiet. I almost lost her because I listened to the wrong people. Many guests glanced toward my parents. Their faces turned bright red. Then Lily smiled. And today wouldn't have happened without her. For the first time all day, the applause wasn't for the bride. It was for us. For two sisters finding their way back to each other. My parents looked embarrassed. And honestly, they deserved it. The months that followed weren't easy. There were difficult conversations, painful truths. Years of resentment had to be addressed. But slowly, things improved. Today, Lily and I are closer than ever. As for my parents, they eventually admitted their mistakes. Not immediately, not easily, but eventually. If this experience taught me anything, it's this. Sometimes the people creating division aren't the people you blame. Sometimes they're standing quietly in the background, manipulating everyone around them. And sometimes it takes a crisis to reveal the truth. My family threw me out of my sister's wedding. 10 minutes later, the bride called my name. And in that moment, everything changed.